Hello and welcome to another Overlord theory video, and today I want to take a look at how the potential conflict between the Sorcerer Kingdom of Ainz Ooal Gown and the Slane Theocracy could play out. And as you probably have guessed already, this will be a what-if scenario in advance of the actual 15th volume of Overlord. So please understand that while all of my hypotheses are based on the lore of Overlord itself, how the conflict could play out is just based on my thoughts and ideas. And it will be interesting to come back to this video after the 15th volume has been dropped. But before we're going to take a look at this, let's take a look at my Patreons and thank them for supporting this channel, as well as all users of the YouTube thanks function who made one-time donations. And with that said, let's dive into it. After Ainz Ooal Gown and Aura and Mara have left their kingdom in order to take a holiday in the Elven Kingdom, they were escorted by the freed elves of Area Usrud, who by now have become formidable fighters thanks to some training in advance. As they made their way into the kingdom, huge crowd formed around the Sorcerer King, and more precisely, the two elven royalties that accompanied him. For the elves, especially in this dire time, where the Theocracy of Slane has waged 100 years of war against the Elf Kingdom, seeing the stark elf princes and the princess being brought to them sparked a flame of hope that the war might not only end, but in fact take a turn for the better. And while Ainz fought back his social anxiety because he isn't used to be surrounded by hundreds of beautiful elven women, the Elf King takes notice about the Sorcerer King and his supposed gifts to him, and arranged for a meeting and a grand festivity to celebrate this event. But Ainz, now having heard stories about why the Elf King sends only women to fight off the Slane Theocracy's advance, grew worried about the king's intention, and decided to sneak into the palace after casting the high-tier hiding spell Perfect Unknowable, which turns him invisible, taste, smell, and soundless. Meanwhile, the Elf King in his throne room was eagerly awaiting the offering of the Sorcerer King, so that he may join forces with him to crush the Slane Theocracy. But now he felt a presence, like he was being watched, and it was quite potent. Soon enough, he found out why, after casting a high-tier counter-camouflage spell, and he giggled to himself, quite amused about the servants of this pathetic undead, as he found himself surrounded by members of the Black Scripture. Laughing at the hubris of the Theocracy's elite force, he easily knocked back the attack of the strongest human in the Scripture, lazily deflects spells and incoming projectiles shot at him from 3 different sides, only to be caught off guard by an attack from the back. While being in retirement for 20 years, one former member of the Black Scripture volunteered to wield the downfall of Castle and Country, the mind-controlling world item of the Slane Theocracy. But he wasn't originally able to use this kind of item. The only reason he could even get this one use out of it was because a grand ritual had been used on him, with not only the life force of the remaining Miku priestesses spent, as well as his own completely expended. He now crumbled to dust, with a smile on his face and peace in his heart. With the Elf King captured, the need to use Zashi or someone else of godly blood has now abated, and Platinum wouldn't get involved into the war after all. And while the Black Scripture now retreated back to Slane, other units of the Theocracy would take their place and finally destroy the hated elves completely, while the Elf King would be repurposed to fight another problem, the Sorcerer King of Ainz Ooal Gown himself, this time with backup. In the now silent throne room, anger, hate, and hot-burning desire for revenge lingered in the air, as Ainz had witnessed who mind-controlled and collected powerful entities for their very own purposes. Just like they did now with the Elf King, the Slane Theocracy must also have tried to abduct Shalltear Bloodfallen back during this very fateful night. Now knowing who had tried to steal the child of Peroroncino, Ainz and his minions scoured the palace of the Elf King for any intelligence on the Theocracy, while also bringing in additional forces via the gate spell. Soon enough, Aura and Mare would be proclaimed as the new rulers of the Elven Kingdom, while Demiurge and Albedo would pull the strings behind his government. At this point, Ainz had already won the war of information. All he now needed to do was act on what he had learned, and the revenge he so eagerly desired would be his. After analyzing the records of the Elf King, alongside a huge list of women who were all deemed to be worthless, except of that one godkin, he formed an insidious plan. And the first step to enact revenge would be to locate and take the Theocracy's most cherished members, the godkins. Those who ruled the land should suffer the same pain he had. He would use their god's very offspring to bring the Theocracy down. Once Demiurge and Albedo approved of his plan, and Neuronist readied the other of the 5 worst, the Pleiades battlemates, led by Sebas and accompanied by Pistonia, arrived in the now leaderless kingdom, while Aura and Mare were, after some display of their power, acknowledged as the undisputed leaders of the Elf Kingdom. And while they in turn enacted policies of Albedo and Demiurge, Ainz rallied and reinforced the Pleiades battlemates, and separated them in pairs of 2, for the first step of his plan to succeed. And what the plan truly is will be the topic of my next video. Thus far, I hope you enjoyed this little piece of, fanfiction. Thank you very much for watching, and special thanks to Bad Guy Yi, Ben C, Chrissy, Crowley0221, Sia, Death is Mercy, Deathless Dragonlord, Dystopia the Second, Feral Shivan, Guy with That Head, Hector Marino, Hoss, Haster, Jacob G, Jana B, Jason, Chromius, Legendarius, Lelouch Britannia with a Mustache, Lexus Fox, Lord Nishikian Rai, Lord Touch Me, Merovec, Mr. Shoes, Mr. Tweaker, Michael R, Michael Y, O'Kill, Overlord General Gasper, Paddy Pantum, Paz Sonich, Primus 11, Shadow Lightning Wolf, Shrine Keeper, Texas Deer, The Orc Warboss, Rocket Smasher, T.E. Vang, Vash Hawkeye, Vegito 27, Venture Fanatic, Wilhelm, and Zonagon. Thanks guys. Anyway, have a nice day, and I hope to see you all again soon on my next video.